Hi and welcome to Kat's Crafty Corner. I am your host Kathy from La Crosse Public Library, and today's episode I am going to show you 6 tools that I believe in every paper crafter should have in their toolbox. These are things that I grab on an almost daily basis. I have duplicates here at my home, at my workplace. So these are things that I consider important to have in your toolbox. The first one is this die release tool. Another one is a bone folder, a brayer, baby wipes, a steel snippet, and last but not least is a paper cutter. And yes, I do have 2 different types of paper cutters. I will be explaining along in this video why I feel each of these tools are important to have and what they do for us. So let me get my workspace ready and then I can demonstrate each and every one. All right, I have my work surface all ready to show you each and every one of my tools that I feel that is necessary in any paper crafter's toolkit. My first one I want to show you and demonstrate is the paper cutter. This happens to be my oldest paper cutter that I've had. It's funny that most paper crafters are always on the lookout for a better paper crafter because they are always looking for something that cuts accurate and that the blade keeps its own self-sharpening. So this paper cutter I've had for quite a bit of time, and the reason I like it is because it has a nice work surface, plus the cartridge here. The blades are easy enough to quickly change out. But I can also pop in a scoring blade. I can also pop in a wavy cut blade, a scallop cut blade. Fiskars comes out with quite a variety of different types of blades to use with their paper cutters. So let me quickly just demonstrate on here a quick cut. So I'm just gonna cut my piece of paper in half at 5 1/2. I like the bumper guards up here and I can clearly see the numbers as I cut. And it's just one quick cut, a nice trim right there. Everything is even. And that's one of the main reasons why I like this particular paper cut. However, I'm always looking for an upgrade and I was hoping, and this may be a good one, is the Stampin' Up paper cutter. This one also allows you to switch out the blades for a scoring tool. It does not have any of those fancy other type of blades. The other thing is this is just looks like it's only 6 inches. However, there is a lever right here that will expand up to 17 inches. So you can cut longer sheets of paper with this, which is nice. And you can clearly see where everything is. The one thing that I keep hesitating about this paper cutter, it cuts beautiful, cuts like butter, is that my inch numbers right up here get marked up when I need to make a cut and use this as my bumper. So if I needed a 2-inch wide square, I line it right there. Yes, I can see it down here, but for me, I always like it up here because you just always need to make sure everything is perfect before you do this first slice. So just quickly like that. Cuts like butter, like I said. So it's a close second in my preference, and I'm always on the lookout for a different paper cutter. It's just the nature of the game, unfortunately. So I'm just gonna set that aside. My next tool that I want to show you is going to be this die release tool. It does have a spatula on the end, and the spatula is used for those who have electronic die cutters and use a sticky mat. It helps remove things off of that mat. It also helps it so things don't break off or rip when you're removing things. However, the other side is where I use it the most, this little tip right there. Here's my die. My paper's stuck in this die. How do I remove it without tearing the paper? Well, most dies nowadays come with these little holes right here. So I just use my pick, poke it through, and just slowly peel it out. Then I notice, oh, I got one piece of paper here, so I'm going to use the tip again, poke that out. Does not tear the paper, and then I can easily quickly go with a poker. Just get those other pieces in the die out so that when next time I run through, I don't have to worry about them. So this tool comes in handy if you use a manual die cutter. The next tool that I want to show you goes along with using dies, and that is the steel snippets. Sometimes dies will come attached to one another, like this set right here. They're attached with this little metal sling right there, and here, and then these have to come out. Well, you can go and just bend along, and then you get sharp edges. These little steel snippets will allow me to cut right in here, as close as I can get. There's no metal edge here, but there's one right there. I can just take my steel snippets and just cut. Nothing, and I don't have to worry about poking me, getting blood, opening a wound. Then that will ruin your craft project. Believe me, I have done it in the past. So these come in handy to remove those particular pieces from the dies. Another handy tool that I find that is wonderful to use is a bone folder. And that comes in handy after you use your scoring board, or if you have a scoring tool on your paper cutter. You get lines like this. Yes, you can go ahead and just fold, and then you can crease it like this. But you know, it sticks up. It gives you this nice little packet right there. If you use a bone folder, and I just go along the top where the crease is, just put a gentle pressure. Look at that. Not as much of a increase there, and it's nicely folded. Everything is aligned. It just saves time when you're trying to fold a lot of different card bases. And the next tool I want to show you is a brayer. Now, brayers are useful for those who also have electronic die cut machines, the sticky mat to adhere the paper or the vinyl to it. You can get a nice smooth look on your paper. But I use mine with my stamping platform. Here's my stamping platform. There's a stamp already in here. What I find that before using the brayer, I would be pressing my hands down, and I noticed that there's a lot of pressure here, and I didn't think that was good for my wrists. I didn't think it was good for my hands, and I wanted to look for something that was more ergonomic for my hands, because I know they are so important in everyday use that I didn't want to ruin them any more than I have been. So I am going to demonstrate how I use this with my stamping platform. I am going to ink up my stamp. We're just going to give it some ink. I am going to place it on my platform, and I can go like this, and it's going to give an image. Not bad, but you notice that over there it wasn't complete. So I just rub this along, gives it even pressure, and I notice that if I have enough ink on the stamp, I only have to stamp it once, but I notice I need to do a little bit more down there. Maybe I have it, and maybe I'll just try a little bit more pressure. So it helps with the pressure and getting it, and then I don't have to do the stamping as much or add as much ink to it. So a brayer does come in handy with that. Now the last thing that I need to show you is that, yes, we used a stamp. It's dirty now, it's got ink on it. We should clean that off. Let me clean that off with my last tool. And that's just a baby wipe. Baby wipes are just inexpensive. You want to get the non-scented baby wipes. And all I do is I just take this and rub it along the stamp, and it cleans it up. I'll have to let it dry for a minute. If I had gotten any ink on the glass, I can clean that off too. You can use these for quite a bit of different times as long as it's in the same time that you are stamping. I can also, if I got any ink on my fingers, I can use it to clean up my hands too. So all these tools are handy in some way, in some fashion. These are the 6 that I regularly go to when I am crafting throughout the day. I don't see anything else that I quickly grab to or use besides, a good adhesive. But these are the standard tools that I feel that should be in any paper crafter's toolbox. I hope you learned something today through my demonstration of the 6 different crafty tools. And I want to take a moment and thank you for joining me at Kat's Crafty Corner, and I hope to see you very soon.